it wasn't Adam. No matter what I say, it doesn't change the fact that we've lost the game and lost out on promotion back to the Football League that we all desperately crave.
Just briefly talk about the game and one incident in particular that the players were unhappy with the keeper only getting a yellow card for the deliberate handball.
I said I don't know what the general consensus is on TV and so on. Certainly had one of the guys said that he felt it was a blatant sending off. I don't see how he can be sure that that's not going to go in the net, and it's an obvious goal scoring opportunity that apparently wasn't obvious. He hasn't gone for us. I was also upset that Taylor didn't get booked early on when he's got every right to go for the first ball, but then he's kicked out twice, and at least. So that should have been a booking. And then, as I say, I haven't seen the replay, but if he has took a dive, then he receives a yellow card. Would have been his second yellow card. The big decisions haven't gone for us, but they, are worthy of winning promotion because of how well they've done over the course of the season. So congratulations to Bristol Rovers and in particular Darrell, who's done a fantastic job. Well, we showed ourselves there that we're a good side. It's just a shame that we have got people driving back to Cleethorpes, so a lot of others that are based around the country. We couldn't make it a sort of party night for everyone.
You went with Gregor Robertson today, I presume particularly because of the injury to Josh Gown as well. Well, he gave it a real go, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was fine, and then for whatever reason something just happened and he felt it. So Daniel Parslow was very unlucky not to start, came on and did a good job. He whipped one ball in particular to my left that just needed the faintest of touches, went across the goal line and made it difficult, but the preparations, aside of losing Josh, have been spot on. I wouldn't have changed a thing other than JP's penalty going in and one of theirs being saved.
How is JP?
I think the same, the word that I used, devastated. He feels he's let his teammates down and the club, but he was brave enough to step up to have the penalty, and his teammates will support him. I've done already, and certainly I will, because it's not about one person, and it's just a cruel game at times.
So what happens now? I mean, you've got decisions to make fairly quickly, I guess.
Just said that to the players in there. I thanked everyone and told them how proud I am of every single player in there, not just the ones that have been on the pitch today. Told them that sometimes you don't get what you deserve in football and in life. And the follow-on to that is, I've got meetings to be at, so I'm not sure exactly when they'll be at this moment in time. I'll have a think about that, but that's the next sort of bad job that you have as a manager. That is never nice and never easy, but the planning has to start, and we'll see how many of this group that I would like to retain will stay.
I think you've been quoted as saying you'd like to retain most of them. Is that the case?
Yeah, a large part of them. I stand by what I said, that I think had we had that group from the start, we would have gone very, very close, if not have won the league. Closer than we ended up even. Again, other clubs will have their stories, and so you're never sure of that. But it's hard because it's financially that squad wouldn't have been able to be with us throughout the course of the season. So you have to make decisions along the way. But the majority of that squad have shown, how they perform, and that they're more than capable of holding their own in this league.
So financially you wouldn't have been able to have that squad for the whole season, so will that impact on decisions for next year then, as to you might have to lose some fund because of finances?
Of course you have to live within your means, and we've got a budget, as every manager has, to work to. You try and get the best value you can out of it, and that's what I try to do. But it's not easy.
And this isn't easy either, though. It's a question that I suppose I've got to ask you. You've come so close this year. Would you be up to the challenge again? Are you up for it next year?
I'll be up for it. I'll be up for it 100%. I won't be happy until this club's back in the Football League. But it's not an easy job, and that's not just here. The league's extremely tough. That's why I say, give Daryl credit, because whatever the club have got and the fan base and so on, history has shown it's very difficult to get out at the first attempt. So credit to them. In the end, you'd be the first to admit today it could have gone either way, certainly with how it finished. And I think overall, from speaking to one or two people, the general feeling is that if anyone deserved to win on the day, at least it was ourselves.
And a word for the fans who sang you throughout, and even at the end we were with the Bristol Rovers fans. Most of the time it was the town fans you could hear singing.
They were superb. We gave them something to shout about, early on, but then they, throughout the game were outstanding, and I felt that would be the case because of the kind of underdog or outnumbered tag, whatever you want to call it, and that's, in some ways it's like an away game, the neutral venue. And I'd agree with you, certainly from where I was stood at least, it seemed as though the fans were the loudest. It's just hard as well because I feel like they deserve to be watching a Football League club, but it's not the case.
And to go back finally to what's happening this week, have you already met with Mr. Fenton? Do you know your budget and for this year? I presume you had two things in mind as to what happened today. So you've already met that, the budget, and you're going to have to maybe lose some players because of it.
I think it's like anything, not just the budget. Some of those players will have caught the eye today. I just said in there, what I'd term the lazy scouts would have seen some lads play extremely well and then may do some more digging around. Some lads I'm sure will have been watched over the course of the season, so that's just natural. They might be moving on because they might have the opportunity to go in the Football League, and in a lot of ways you couldn't blame them for that. All I would say is we know, or they know certainly, what they get here and how they're treated, and that's a decision that will in some cases be down to them.
Do you know of any players who that applies to already?
No, not really. I think it's just a case of having a chat and seeing where they're at. There is an element of being happy in your football, and I think the majority of the players have been, but as we want to get back in the league, I want to be a Football League manager. Some of those want to play in the league, whether it's for the first time or again, and that sort of calling is or could be a difficult one to turn down.
And we'll expect some news maybe this week on what's happening.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, so I'm not going to give you a day or time, but it might, or I'm pretty sure that this week you'll find out anyone that has perhaps been let go, and then I think after that I'm not sure anything would happen too quickly, but we would like to do.
Paul, whatever, well, we know what happened today. Your team did it today.
We did. Thank you. Cheers.